Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. We're back.
How are you doing?
We are back live and in effect. So, I don't even know what we're going to talk about today because let me tell you, I've had a heck of a weekend with this man over here. We have literally been in these streets all weekend long.
Let her tell the truth.
I'm
Tell,
telling the
tell
truth.
the truth.
Friday, we was in the
No,
streets.
y'all kept me in the streets.
Saturday, we was in the
Y'all
streets.
kept me in the streets.
Today, I slept all day. I barely got up. I barely got up. But our topic for this evening is date night. Date night, even after marriage, and why it's very important. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and start talking about that. So, down my stream, I don't know if it's down your stream, but we've been seeing a lot of people um, who've been getting married. We've been seeing a lot of people getting married. And but then what happens after the marriage, especially after you have start having children and things like that, it can be a little difficult to try and juggle the babies and trying to juggle, just keeping a healthy relationship. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Yeah, but I would say not just they are getting married, but are they staying married? Um, because I think they're missing the fact of togetherness among each other.
Yeah.
When you get married, you don't just get married, say I'm married, and that's it. No, you have to go out on a date still, as if y'all still dating. I mean, we had a good time yesterday. We went out all day and we danced. We
Yeah.
had fun. We enjoyed each other.
Yeah.
I think the couples are missing the fact about enjoying each other.
Yeah. Yeah, like we had a really, really good time yesterday. Like earlier that morning we were invited to a wedding, a beautiful wedding. It was a renewal. So there was this couple that was they've been married for 12 years and they were renewing their vows and it was absolutely amazing. Then we had another couple that we knew were getting married, and they're a young couple that I've seen chase each other since like forever, and they got married. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that have been just down my feet, just married, 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 and I'm super excited for them. But there's a lot, after marriage. Once you get married, you got to make sure that you're ready for this type of ordeal, because it is not easy. Marriage is not easy, but it's not hard either.
I will use this scenario. I believe it's like moving into a new house.
Mm-hmm.
Move into a new house, everything's beautiful and fine. Now it's time to unpack your luggage.
Mm.
How much luggage you have to unpack that the other party may not like.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got to put your picture on the wall, baby. I don't want that picture. I don't like that picture. But you say you like it there, but I don't like it. I really didn't like it. I didn't say it because it was your picture. You
Yeah.
know, we have a lot of things that we have to learn how to unpack and learn how to listen to the other party about your unpacking it.
Yeah, I unpacked a lot of stuff on you when when we first got married. But I think that some of those things were already there. A lot of my foolishness, it was kind of already there. But then as we began to go into what a lot of the real issues were with me, it was a little bit more to unpack because then you have to go into therapy and all these types of things. So it was a lot more to unpack there for us. But the second thing we went to after that was I went to a women's meeting, and that was pretty cool. He'll tell you that I drug him there. He didn't have to get out the car. He was so tired from the night before. Well, then tell your truth. Then I'm just gonna sip my tea.
So this how it went.
Don't
I'm in the
believe.
car asleep because
Don't believe it.
we had to pick my daughter up from her rehearsal, dance rehearsal. So we get all the way down and the rail and pick my daughter up. I get out the car and go get in the back seat of the van because I said, I'm not driving, you drive. She said, oh, I'm driving. Yes, I'm driving. So I went to sleep. When I wake up, I'm on the turnpike. Okay.
I wanted to go.
So, but I understood that, but I said, well, we're going to see. I hate to see a horror movie where they close out with their eyes and that's close out with their eyes. There's something else. So I close my eyes. I say, this must be a shortcut or something. So I open my eyes again. We on Sunrise Boulevard. I'm like, this ain't our place. She said, I really want to go. You sleep. I'm like, okay. I gotta take my little cat nap. She put it to the place. All right, go ahead, go to the house, take your clothes, and come right back. No problem. Get to the house, take my clothes, came back. Now I'm sitting in the car around 6 o'clock, 6:15. Just come inside for a minute. See the text. Just come inside for a minute. I don't want to go on and play with a bunch of women that they're like a setup for a brother. So that's the truth. She dragged me.
I didn't drag you. You wanted to come. So he works nights and he didn't have an opportunity to really get to sleep. So he fell asleep in the back seat. That was my opportunity to go to the venue that I wanted to go to.
So you snuck and got there.
So I drug him there in the car. It felt like we were in a horror movie for real. I have a big long black van and I got this man in the back seat knocked out and I'm just taking him where I wanted to take him. So, but the event was good. I got a lot out of the event. And this young lady, Sarita Brantley is her name. She does a lot of wonderful events for women. And it was really nice. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I said it was nice. It was nice.
So it was something for me. And then later on that evening, I gotta, if I'm out past 8 o'clock, I am just like right now, I'm sleepy, but I wake up, I try to take my nap, try to take my iron pills so I can be up so that I can be here to do this for you guys every Sunday. But usually by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm in the bed sleep. I'm in the bed. This guy had me out partying all night in the same dress, mind you. He was like, oh no, we're leaving straight from church and we're going to this event.
She should have closed her eyes and wake back up.
Let me tell you, we were partying so hard. We partied so hard last night. We really enjoyed ourselves. You know, our children are at the age now where they can date. Yeah, well, we can date and they can watch themselves. Even if they're with the sitter, their sitters there's just making sure that the house doesn't burn down. But they're really, really, really good kids.
They're responsible.
And they're responsible and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm excited for that because now we finally get to do something with each other because it's always been he and I for so many years. And for so long, we never had anybody that we could call on and say, hey, come and watch these kids, except for like one person. And it's their godfather. He would come all the time if we needed a little break. But we didn't take it too often, you know.
Our date night was actually locking ourselves up in the room, hoping the kids will knock on the door. We look at a cartoon or something on TV. But
don't be telling my business.
Soon we close the door to try to look at a movie. Daddy, Mama. It's like, Lord of mercy. Give us this 1 minute for ourselves.
1 minute? You need to stop telling these folks that. Oh my goodness.
Well, we had to get something out of the kids when I do it not 5 minutes by ourselves.
So have you guys ever been in a position where you really want to be just intimate with your spouse? And I mean, like, oh my gosh, these children they don't want you to have any other kids. And if you don't want to have any other children, have you some little ones that like to come in and out of your room. I'm telling you, that is a cock blocker in itself, you know. So
our kids, I ain't gonna lie, we comparing our kids to insects. But they're like little roaches and rats in the house. Come on the door and just peek. It's like, what y'all doing?
Yeah, we can't. I'm telling you, we're training them, you know, to stop knocking on our door.
Well, I did promise them when they get older, I'm gonna do it to them.
I promise you, ain't nothing in here but water. I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm waiting. Go right to the house, you know, and they bed with their husband. Knock on the door, say, "Can I come out and lay in the bed with y'all? Look at TV."
You're weird.
Oh no, I'm sure how it feel. They gonna sit there and I understand now. It's too late now.
But they really don't get it. Like you really have to train children or find you a special time to have, intimacy with your spouse. You know what my husband used to do? He stopped doing it because we had a big argument when we were younger. We had a really big blow up. And he said, I'll never do it again. So he used to take the pillows from off the cushions of the couch and lay them down on the floor. The kids would be asleep and he would lay them down on the floor. He would have like some fruit and some vegetables and different things like that in a little tray for us. And then I promise you, I tell you no lie, we would just sit there and eat. But we had a big argument one time and he tried to do that again. And I said, this is not gonna make up for all the stuff you did. And he was like, oh, you don't like it? And then I was like, I like it, but this is not gonna work. And so he said, you know what? I'll never do it again. I don't remember. That was 12 years ago. He never did it again. So I'm trying to put in a plug. That was very nice. We should do that again. But now our kids they're so much bigger now that they'll come in and just come and sit right there on the pillow next to us, especially my son.
And eat all the fruits and
eat all the fruits and cheese and leave us with nothing. Oh my goodness. So I am styling and profiling this cup. Let me tell you, my homegirl, Latoya DeJustice, she makes these things. And not only did she make this, she made my husband's cup. Where's your cup?
Okay.
It's way over there. Get the cup. Get the cup real quick. Go get your cup. Just get your cup. Just get your cup. Slide and get your cup. Slide, slide, clap, slide. Slide. Come on. So he has his cup as well. It's something in it. So it's our Let's Talk Marriage cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, she's been hooking us up. But I ended up ordering him the wrong shirt. So we tried the other day. I told him to try on the shirt. I said, oh, you're looking hot and sexy. That shirt was so tight. His stomach was popping out of the shirt. And I just said, well, I guess you won't wear that anymore. So he doesn't wear it anymore. But we had to put some water in it because last night, I'm telling you, we partied to our last event. And my throat was just dry. It was just dry. I don't know. It was from the yelling and the just, laughing loud and yelling across to other people that we knew. And, just really after COVID, we hadn't been out.
Yeah.
So we went out last night and stayed out so long that my pinky toe was hurting. My pinky toe was hurting. In them heels all night long. We danced the night away and we had so much fun.
Well, I would say is, date night for us was long overdue. We've taken advantage of a lot of things in life, but we don't take advantage of ourselves and time. We don't compromise with each other good enough. We don't love each other like we should. And we spend more time competing against each other instead of enjoying each other.
Who competes against each other?
We did that one time before. We was competing.
Oh, explain this. I don't remember when I competed with you.
Well, one day I learned.
Not what you learned. When did I compete with you?
You did just try to compete with me.
Explain that. Explain it. Like what are you talking about?
I could do that better than you. I can do this better than you.
I don't remember doing that.
Give
me an
selective
example.
Memory.
It is selective today. Explain. What did I
Well, I remember I used to play the saxophone. I don't play no.
And I said that I could play the saxophone better than you.
You did. And
I can't play the saxophone. I play
know
clarinet.
That. I'm like, why would you try to?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
This is a lie. I probably did it to piss you off. And look at what we're doing now.
To. And I look out and laugh. I said, this is hilarious.
I can't play saxophone.
I know. But we spend more time. We used to spend a lot of time get mad at each other for the dumbest things instead of having fun. Wow, that used to do some crazy stuff.
That I agree with because I was, for me, fighting the fighting myself from being what I used to be and trying to be something, not trying to be something different, but trying to understand my new role. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what it was like to be, um, I guess, feminine, but still yet strong in my position. I didn't understand that stuff until now. Like I can still be me and still be feminine and yet, still tomboyish. I like to play basketball, I like to box and do those things and still be accepted. I didn't know how to incorporate those things into my life without still trying to be the man. Like I couldn't articulate it then, but I can articulate it now.
Oh,
So that was my issue. You know
so that
this.
means you were still competing against me.
Oh gosh. You call it compete. I call it I had to figure my life out. I had to figure it out. And you allowed me to figure it out.
Oh yes, I had no choice.
Oh gosh. Now let's talk about you.
Oh, please do.
No, I ain't gonna do that. But so there are a lot of things I think that sometimes people when you get married, you don't really truly understand a lot of different things. And you have to really figure it out and try to figure it out together. But I think the best thing that we could have ever done for each other was to be patient.
Yeah,
Was to be
patience,
patient. Yeah.
patience, and also being slow to anger.
Mm.
I mean,
You were slow to anger. I was quick, fast, in a hurry.
yeah, but then you cause more problems by being angry.
Yes, of course.
And the thing is in a marriage, I'm learning now we have to compromise.
Hmm.
We have to put aside our differences, and we have to communicate.
Right. So, but it took us a while to learn that. Like a lot of these things, I'm telling you, when we first got married, it was just horrible. And I'm looking at all the people and things that we just had, or that I even I guess tried to put into our marriage, and learning how to remove those people. It was really hard and it was difficult for me because I thought that, and this is what I figured then, but I know now, I know better now that people don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. They don't, excuse me. So I'm like burping a lot. But people don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. And we were worried so much, or I would say I was, because he really didn't care. But I was worried so much about what other people thought of us, or what other people thought of our marriage and how they perceived me as his wife. And it backfired so much that it almost ruined like so much of us, so much that we could have been spending so much time together. But the time that we did spend together, it was just built on arguments and what other people said and how this person felt and why they said this and why they said that. And when we learned how to remove them from our relationship, I believe that it got better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, that's when we discovered that who's in our home is more important than who's outside our home. We spend so much time, like you said, worrying about our mom, what she may say or think, or our grandmother, or our sister, our brother, our friends, the pastor, the minister, what they may think. But the truth of the matter is, they don't live with us.
Hmm.
And we are scared to approach our marriage with a clear head that my husband is important or my wife is important. And what they say is what matters to us.
Hmm. So when I first, before I even was going to marry him, my aunt's husband, he said to me, Taisha, always make sure that you consider your husband first. I never understood it until we got fully into the marriage, that helped me to understand what he was really talking about. Like I would always go, places with my grandmother, or do this or do that. And he would say, oh, hey, I'm here. Me and the kids are over here. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go do this. Or if my family members would say, hey, let's do this, that, and the other. And I would just do it and not even ask him what did he feel about it, or did he have any other plans, I would just go and just do it. And that wasn't fair. That is calls for just a lot of confusion and just craziness in your marriage. My family is filled with nothing but women and strong women, and it was really hard for me to transition from being that type of woman to the woman where I'm always considering him and saying, hey, how do you feel about this? Or I want to do such and such and such. Do you think that's okay? Like, are we going to be good if I go? Or this is how many hours I'm going? You're going to be with the kids. Do you have the time? Or do you even feel like it? Because he has feelings too. I can't always think of myself and not consider him in the same process. You know what I mean?
Or how much it's going to cost me. A lot of decisions that
Yeah, because I sure do like
couples make,
money.
one spouse may make is they won't let the other spouse know what's going on. They just jump up and do it and spend what they want to spend.
Yeah.
Not realizing the word consequences of doing that, where a bill may not get paid, or you run out of gas, can't go to work, or the kids get hungry, you got to buy food for the house. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of dumb decisions we made that could have been avoided if we understood our role in our home.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I remember always, because I was so used to it just being me, and he would always tell me that I was selfish, and I'm like, I probably am, because I was so used to it being me, and if I wanted to do something, if I see the money, I'm gonna spend it, because when it was just me, you do call me selfish.
No, I said you was acting like you was single.
Oh, well, that's still kind of selfish. So acting like I'm single versus selfish. Explain the two in your mind of what you think it is.
When you married, you consider the other party.
I thought you said you consider it a party. I'm like,
no, consider the other party.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need some water.
Go ahead.
Go.
And if you single, you live like a single person that have their own home, pay their own bills, and don't have to worry about the other spouse at all. So why? They have their own home and as well. But when you're in a relationship with a person and you are married, there's no such thing as a single person in the home. You have to consider each other, because now you are a couple.
Let me tell you, I hated that, for a while, because when you bring children into a relationship, they need everything. Even when you think you have something to spend, the children, they need it. They need it. I would just definitely tell all newly married people to make sure that you have something, stored up for yourself. Like maybe date night money, or stuff that you save, especially if you're not balling, and you get, you got all this money where you can just spend it how you want to spend it. You got to prepare for certain things. Like maybe Friday nights would be date night. Always have a date night where it's something for you and your spouse, or on every other Monday or every other month, you have time for you and your girls, or he has time like for him and his guys, that you can get away and detach, because he was him all by himself before he was with me, so having those things, and then having time where you're doing family time, where you're doing things with the children. Our children love that. The one thing that I know that they like the most is when we're sitting at the dinner table and we've prepared food, for them, and we're all sitting there either for breakfast or for dinner. And they really love to sit there and talk to us about whatever it is that they want to talk about. Yeah. And even though it might be very frivolous, some of the things that they're talking about, we listen, and we ask them questions and make them feel important, and they love that.
Yeah, even though sometimes some of the stuff they be talking about be like, oh my God, they actually said that. Oh my goodness, I wish they don't talk about that. This topic again.
Yeah.
But the thing we were looking at is we was actually enjoying ourselves. The kids wanted to talk. They liked that time. But the best time I actually had was when I sat across the table from my wife, excluding the kids. Because now it's just me and her, and we could talk to each other without the kids, even though 9 times out of 10, every time we went out to a restaurant, we end up talking about the kids.
Does that bother you?
No.
It doesn't.
Because that's our life.
Like, when you're away from the kids, my son, he is so funny to me. And I'm always telling him, when we finally do have dinner or something together away from them, I'm like, did you hear what your son said today? And if he didn't get a chance to see that, I share those things with him because he's always working. And so I'm like, this is what your son did today, or this is what the girl said, or this is what we did, and this is what I didn't like. Or, maybe you can talk to him about this. And so you get to talk about those things, and sometimes you forget kind of like who you are as a person, because now here comes these kids. These kids are they suck the life out of you. They take everything. Now there's some people who absolutely adore, you got the 19 Kids and Counting show and all these things, but children are expensive. You don't want no more kids?
No, I'm not even gonna talk about them, because I'll be honest with you, that's on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have behind the screen. I guarantee them, they out there screaming out their mind,
yeah,
in the corner somewhere, because all them kids in the house tearing up the house.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm not gonna act like they can't act like it's all cheery and no, it's not all cheery.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Children are they are supposed to be a blessing from God, but they can run you crazy as well if you let them. If you let them. We've learned to join forces in a way that if daddy says no, that's just it. Don't come and ask me. I get to the point now where I'm just like, don't ask me. Nope. Don't ask me no questions. Go ask your daddy. Because you're not gonna. They like to play. The kids play games.
They will say, "Daddy gonna say no, Mom. Won't you ask me for yourself?"
They do that. My son is now in love with crab legs because I have a crab leg problem. So he's like, I want crab legs. So the other day we were out. He says, I'm gonna call daddy. So he gets his phone and he calls daddy, and he's like, yeah, your wife said, could you bring some crab legs home? So I'm like, hey, you're not lying on me. I don't need crab legs.
Yeah, put her on the phone and say, Mom, crab legs. Israel, I can hear you on the phone.
So they're funny. They do little funny things like that. But you got to be careful because sometimes it's not cute, especially when they continue to manipulate you. So you got to be careful with that, especially as moms. We have to be careful because our sons, they have our heart for some reason. It's weird, but they'll try to play on you.
Yeah, that's why it's good for parents to get their way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kids, I gotta go in the battle. Kai, take me away.
Mm-hmm.
Get that R&R time with yourself. Love yourself. Be with yourself, and love your wife and love your husband. We spend so much time working, so much time worrying about the bills, so much time worrying about cousins, sisters, brothers, but we forget to worry about what's important to us.
Yeah, because when the children are gone, when all these people are gone, you have nobody but each other. And then let's say, God forbid, something was to happen to your spouse. How are you going to learn to live with yourself?
I remember a situation in my life when I was younger. It's funny now, but it's sad. Both my parents is gone, deceased. But I remember back in 1985, when we moved to Arizona. My daddy always stayed gone because he did not appreciate us that much. So my mom said, well, it's time for us to go because, daddy don't want us here no more. All right, we young, we don't know no better. So we went with mommy. We moved to Arizona. Beautiful place. So we get to Arizona. My daddy decided to come back home one day. I guess after a couple of months of being gone, he came home. He said he realized everything was gone. My mom sold everything and gave everything away. Only thing she left my daddy was a mattress, one plate, one bowl, one spoon, one fork, one of everything, and left him nothing at all. He was so privileged to have my mom, not realizing how privileged he was. She bought everything for him. He didn't even know how to sign a checkbook. So he went down to the bank to sign a checkbook. He realized that people say, your signature don't match, Mr. Carvel. No, we cannot give you your money. You know,
Your mom was a
he
gangster.
he went to go buy him some underwear and did not know his own size underwear size. I said that to say this, that when you don't appreciate the other party and when they do stop doing, that's when you appreciate them the most, when they're gone.
Yeah.
So before that time come up that they're not there no more, appreciate what you have,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes appreciate what you have teach you how to appreciate yourself.
And I think that sometimes people get married for convenience, because it's easier for them to get married to a person that has just been taking care of them or doing things for them and just constantly, just being to them like what a mother kind of would be. I hear some men, they get with these women and they're not genuine. And sometimes the women are trying to figure out, why am I doing and being all this and he doesn't want me back? I've always learned from different men that it is better for a man to chase a woman than for her to just try and chase him. And I kind of never understood that. I thought it was a give and a receive. But I understand now, like when you're chasing after a man, like there's certain things that I feel like are in you guys that you want to be able to provide. You want to be able to take care of. You want to be able to secure or be strong for that woman. But if the woman is doing all these things and she's trying to do all these things, what is a man left to do?
Well, well said. But the thing we have to look at now is, are these men being raised to chase a woman? When you grow up in a son grew up in a single parent home where the mom doing everything for his child, buying them brand new Jordans, buying them brand new clothes, cooking all his dinner, fixing his plate for him, cleaning the table up for him, taking the garbage out. All he doing playing Nintendos and going out with his homeboys, smoking weed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time for him to get out the house.
Yeah.
Because mom is tired of cleaning behind a grown man that is not really contributing to the house.
Yeah.
Now he got to find somebody to replace their mother.
You're so smart.
So now they find a woman that been in a position where she saw her mom did the same exact thing, repeat the same cycle. So she find a young man that she have to raise.
This is wow. So I see this a lot. There are I see this in like so many relationships of some associates that I have where these women are with these men and they are finding themselves having to raise these men. Um, Let me be very, very careful and very clear with what I'm saying. Sometimes these men are they are okay with having to do this because the woman has her own house, she has her own job, she has her own everything. I told a close friend of mine, I said, you have a woman that has everything that she needs. She doesn't need you. She has her own car, she has her own house, she even got us some kids. What does she need you for? What are you bringing to the table that will, hold on, let me finish it, that will make her say, okay, let me see what you have to offer, because she's looking for safety, she's looking for security, because she has everything else, she can take care of herself. When you met
Well,
me,
the thing
I
is,
could take care of myself.
you could, but you didn't. But the thing is, I brought the value back to your life.
What value did you bring to my life?
Me being with you make you better.
You're so secure with yourself.
And
You think you got it going on,
yes,
don't
I
you?
do. And at the same time, her being with me make me better as well. What we miss is the value that the person brings to the table. Yes, you might make the more money, but then are you considerate about the value of who you with?
But the
Just
person has to have the value. If the man is not
if he
bringing,
bringing the value to the table, if you not recognize the
what's
value,
the value?
the value is love. The value. Let me
Love can't
finish.
pay
Let
bills.
me finish. Value is love.
Go ahead.
Value. See, if I give it a woman that has everything, her own car, her own house, her own everything, I need to make her feel like I'm able to handle her, and don't
Handle her. What? Be careful.
handle her in my life, as in treat her right.
Okay.
I can treat her right, and at the same time, I don't feel not challenged. What's that? What's the word when somebody feel? Oh my goodness,
Degraded?
not degraded.
Less than?
No,
What?
when the person challenges somebody else, or
Friction?
not friction. It's like when two men come in the same room and they feel
Inferior?
inferior. It's probably a decent word. It's a not what I'm really looking for, but inferior word.
Okay.
Because intimidated. Yes,
Mm.
most men feel intimidated to walk in the house with a woman that has everything. That don't intimidate me,
Mm.
and I think women want to know that you're not intimidated by that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a woman can intimidate me, that means can't control me.
Mm-hmm.
A woman don't want a man that she can control. She want a man to be the man
Mm-hmm.
that can love her, make her feel protected, everything that she already have for herself. But you enhance that moment.
But now, how can these men enhance that if they've never been taught how to do that?
That's the good question. And the sad part about it is, if the man is not willing to hear or learn from a man that have that value to give them, or even search out, with me, I have a small circle. The men I have in my circle, they are men that I know I could speak to on a positive note,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll put some value back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk to, certain ministers that I know I could speak to. I could speak to, and I know I could get some, good value advice from them.
Mm-hmm.
Where, okay, I did this wrong. All right, I'm gonna try it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say, well, I have to stand up be a man. How do I do that?
Yeah.
Not saying, oh, I'm no. Sometimes we have to tone ourselves down to grow up.
But see, there are a lot of men that I believe that don't know how to do that because it's hard for men to be in a vulnerable place to say to the woman, I need help in this area,
Well,
and her not take advantage of that.
correct.
So,
And the thing is if a woman take advantage of that, let me know how less a woman she is.
mm,
Because we need each other no matter how we put it. You made me better.
mhm,
Why wouldn't I make you better?
mhm,
We work together to better each other.
right.
But to be in a position where you turn the party down because you see the weakness and you use it for your advantage to get above, that is like self-sabotage to me.
Oh, wow. That would be self sabotage, especially when you know that the funds and things like that are coming in the home uh, to make everything, as one, as you like to always say, or as or whole, and you're sabotaging that for your own gain. That can be a huge problem.
Yeah.
But a lot of women only know how to nurture. So what happens is that when they do get these men in the house, it almost seems to say it's better to have a man than no man at all. So if I have to raise him or to do this, that, and the other, then I'll just settle for that.
Well, that's true. But now it's time to stop the cycle. If we want a successful marriage, a successful relationship, a successful life, even that successful communication skill, if a man don't know how to communicate with his wife, how can he communicate with the world? If a man cannot communicate with his wife, how can he communicate with his son, his daughter? So now he's teaching his son and daughter the same bad cycle that the wife is doing to him because he's too weak to know his role. And I think this is now it's time for men to stand up and stop and wake up and say, "Hold up, I have to put the value back in my home of who I am
Mm-hmm.
by showing my wife I'm able to handle the responsibility as a father, as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman is out of control, I cannot blame her. I blame the husband because he have not put his foot down as a man in his life.
Mm-hmm.
A man got to put his foot down in his own life to be able to tell his wife, I can do it.
Yeah.
If we don't never plant our foot on solid ground and stand up for ourselves, and now we mad because the woman still acting up. No, it's your fault. Why she acting up? Wake up.
Yeah.
You're not showing her the value that you bring to the table. You're not showing her that you're able to handle your responsibility as a husband. Heck, you probably can't even hang yourself in the bed.
Yeah.
And now she's looking around like, man, this man is sorry. He got some sorry, you know what? He can't even pay a bill. I gotta pay a cell phone bill. Really?
Yeah. I know there there are a lot of women. This isn't even. I don't think we have time for that. But there are so many women who are not even pleased sexually because most of these men are watching these porno shows and or they've done things to their own bodies, masturbation and things like that, and they're not lasting as long as they should, and they are thinking that they're pleasing this woman in a way that she really isn't. So she's not being pleased in the bed. She can't, get the money that she needs and be able to do the things that she needs to do as a woman to keep the upkeep of certain things. But these men want to be or to have their cake and eat it too, because if that woman doesn't do it, he'll move on to the next. He'll move on to the next person. Next week we have, and I'm not trying to move from what you're saying, but next week we have two single couples, two single people that are coming on, one woman and one male. And I wanted them to come on because I wanted to know why they were single. These are some beautiful people. They're gorgeous. The woman is very beautiful. She's a model. She's a plus size model. And then you have this young guy. I don't think he's a model, but he should be. He's a very handsome man, and he's single. And a lot of these women always want to know, well, why won't you choose me? And so I'm bringing him in to kind of answer that question. But before we do that, why do you think men or single men? Because we do have some single male friends that are around us. What are your guy friends saying about the women without breaking the bro code? But what are they saying?
The biggest problem most men have is she tried to control me.
In what sense?
Well, oh no, better yet, she tried to mold me, make me into something that she wants. I remember in our marriage, I used to always say, "How can you teach me to be something that you never had?" And you used to look at me and get and still be furious, and you never heard me until one day you actually did hear me say, "Wow, I never thought about it that way." And a lot of women.
That was after a lot of therapy, though.
No, yeah, but a lot of women grow up and they looking for a man that they could shape and mold to their own, but they never experienced a father in their life to show them how to be happy with themselves and accept the love of a man. But the sad part about it, while they're going through that, the men don't have a father to teach them how to give that woman the love she needs.
Yeah, you guys can ask questions if you have any questions. We have about 15 or 20 minutes left on the show. But the reason why I started to understand that comment when you said, how can you try and mold me into something that you never had? I think my father was never in my life. I had plenty of men around me that were good men, my grandfather and my aunt's husband, my uncle, who I talk about often. And my husband is like both of them in one. So I married the examples that I had pretty much. He likes to work. He's just like my grandfather, working all the time and making sure that he takes care of the house. And then he's like my uncle in a way, because my uncle always just loved family. I always saw him with family, and so much so that when you talk to my cousins, they sound like their father. My guy cousin, my boy cousin, he sounds just like his dad when he talks, from the way he walks. I'm like, you sound like your daddy. I already know what you're going to say because you sound like your daddy, right? But I believe, and ladies, if you're on this line, you can interject. But I believe that women try to mold men into who they think they should be, because if you don't know who you are, we got to figure out something. We have to make something. Hold on, let me explain.
No, go ahead. You're doing a good job.
Women are natural nurturers. So if we're nurturing, if we're having to nurture you and do all this stuff with you, we're molding you into, yes, what we need you to be, especially if you don't know who you are.
Well, you are
Hold on.
100% right.
Because now, when you and I were dating, well, when we got married, because we dated for like a year and then that was it. We were just married. You didn't know who you were.
You didn't either. We both was walking in the
Now,
marriage.
see, did you just
blind.
hold on? Did
No,
you just
no,
get offended?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. So then listen
Go
with your ears.
ahead.
Now, I'm not going to embarrass you on this thing.
No, you can't embarrass me right now.
Okay, now listen, because then now we're getting real.
Go ahead, get real.
But, but when God continued to show me who you were, I would ask him to allow me to speak to the man in you because you were getting frustrated. I could see the frustration and the anger that was coming because I was trying to do something or to make you into something that I wanted, but I don't believe that you knew how to be. So it frustrated me. So in my frustration, I had to figure it out. You know how Elsa and Anna was like, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I had to figure out how to build a snowman and help you to get to what, in my mind, what I felt. Now you getting frustrated. Stop wiggling.
What? I'm not wiggling.
I know you want to get your thought out, but you're gonna listen today.
I'm listening. Ears open.
So it was heart-wrenching for me to get you to understand what I needed. Now, of course, 15 years later, we figured it out. But it was terrifying to be with this man and stop doing that.
What
and that we had these kids and you couldn't it's like you couldn't do it in that moment. You didn't get it. I automatically, women know how to, we had to change diapers, we had to do this, we got to do that. You didn't know how to do those things.
I didn't know how to change diapers. Wait.
You knew how to change diapers. What I'm saying was to be a nurturer and to step in the places that I needed you to step in.
I was doing all that and then some. You just didn't see it because you wanted me to be something else that I was already doing. Until you realized that I was doing it already, you said, "Oh, let me shut up and leave him alone."
I don't like this conversation.
Nah, it's the truth.
Hold on. Somebody got a question. I'm listening to you.
Because the thing is, we could argue and go through the factor of the matter, but I believe now, since you said the comment you said, it helped me think of something that most women try to mold a man into what they think they need. And sometimes,
okay, I see.
Within doing that, we end up molding something that we should not have at all. Because sometimes God will put the right man in your life that would take you to the next level in your life. But because we don't see God within that, we kind of buck against it.
Oh, I like that. Hold on. Let's see what Tiffany say. I think the opposite is the truth as well. We expect men to have it all together, as in our ideal man, as if as if it's a one-sided street. Yeah, I agree, Tiffany. Yeah, I agree. And Marie said that she agrees with you on this one. I'm not gonna put her comment up. You're supposed to be Team Ty, but I agree. Like, there are a lot of women who believe that the men should have it all, but then the women shouldn't get themselves together like that. That is a true statement.
It starts from birth.
Oh, wait a minute. Now you're going into the womb. Go ahead.
Because when a daughter is born, the first thing she learns, she get a what?
She get a doll.
When the man was born back then, we used to get, the little, racing track, the cars, they had to fix cars, they had to build. We got things that taught us how to work. Today, we get our son what? A controller.
Remote control, yeah.
And is that teaching our son how to work?
Huh?
Is that teaching our son how to work, how to build, how to be productive with their mind? No, it's not. It's really not. So our daughters growing up learning how to be very productive in life. Our sons growing up to be mute in life. And their mind has been shuttered to a point where it's not growing. And if we don't take that stuff from our son's hand and put, the things that teach them how to be productive, be creative, how do you expect our young men to be?
the thing is now, and this is just what I've been seeing, when the mother has to work and the father is at home playing video games, because at this point, like you said, she's having to raise him, and then they have a baby. What is happening? They're giving that child the same thing, because that father doesn't have the tools that he needs in order to be able to
So
parent
she got two sons in the
in the
house.
house.
And
Absolutely.
see, the thing is what people have to realize if we look at the definition of a father, a definition of a mother. A mother, and sorry, it's the definition is we know it's a nurturer. That's a 100%
Yeah.
true. Is a nurturer, and it's undisputed the truth.
Hmm.
But then a father, we lost the definition of a father. The truth of a father is to teach. When are our fathers teaching? They're not.
Well, they can't teach something that they don't know, or
Bam,
that they
because
don't educate
generational.
themselves.
See, when I look at me, you look at the village, you look at uncles, grandfathers, and
Mhm.
so on, and different generation.
Uh-huh.
They took their time to teach their sons.
Hmm.
You had a son had at least 5 generations of teaching is still within him, so he was able to teach the next generation.
Right.
Our sons have 0 generation of teaching.
Our son has us
Well, no,
and
I
has
know
you.
our sons have a lot of generation.
Right.
I mean, he have,
Your uncle.
my uncle. He have, we even have. Every once in a while, I have to give Mr. Nelson, his props. Then
Yeah.
you have, um, Uncle Sean.
Yeah.
Then you have, cousin Brian. You have all these good men around him
Yeah.
that are able to help mold my son to something that's important.
Yeah.
And then but the problem is our fathers is not fathers no more. They just dad.
Look. So speaking of Uncle Raymond, he says teaching comes from what you have learned. So I said that. How can they teach something if they haven't learned it
When we go
themselves?
to school, who teaches?
We can't blame it on the
No,
schools.
no. Listen to me. I'm using it as a scenario.
Go ahead.
The teacher teaches the kids how to read, right?
Speaking to the mic, so
The teachers teach the kids how to read, do arithmetic, and everything else, right?
that's correct.
What is a father's responsibility? If nobody taught the father how to be a father, how can we expect anything out of something that have no?
So let me say
no
this
value
to
to
you. You did the opposite. Now it has to be something that a person
Because
wants.
my mother allowed certain men to plant a good value in my life.
Right.
And I took away what was important to me, even the bad stuff, because I'm like, I'm gonna take everything I could take from this person I can, because I can learn from this person.
Yeah.
And I am teaching my son how to pay attention to everything around him, good and bad, and learn how to accept it
Mm-hmm.
and begin to dissect it and use what's important.
Yeah.
My father did things that I wouldn't imagine that I could do to my kids.
Yeah.
But guess what I did? I use it and say I will not never do to my kids, and that is my platform.
Yeah.
My mom, I remember Elder Green. I think he Apostle Green now. I don't know what his position now.
Mm-hmm.
But I watch him with his sons when I was growing up at the park. I'm like, oh my God, this man loved his children.
Yeah.
And I learned by looking through other men' living room window how to be where I am today. It's not too late for any man to learn how to be a man.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to use the good and the positive around you,
Yeah.
to become something that's important.
Yeah.
Fathers is important, but we don't. We literally put that behind us and made mom so important until the mom is overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. This is true.
So when are we going to stop blaming our mothers and take blame for our decision?
That's a very good question. And that's why platforms like this are very, very important. Minister Lionel has a platform that's called A Father's Note. And you know how they say that one time in a person's life, they're going to be introduced to God, and they can't say that they've never seen it. There are so many different platforms and things like that that are around that nobody can miss. If you want to be good and you want to do better, there is something out there for you. Like people can stand in line for 10 and 12 hours for a pair of Jordans. There's so many other platforms that you can stand in line for, you can pay for instead of buying those Jordans. And I know we always talk about Jordans, but whatever the expensive thing is to you, there's so many things that you can do to enhance your knowledge and your understanding. My husband is always reading these different books and he's found so much information that, so my children, they're in private school. They go 2 days out the week to get the material. And then when they come home, the lessons we give them and the things that we put in them are the history that they need to know. We can't send our children out blindly into the world
Mm-hmm.
and not they have a mother and father at home with strong Black parents and not instill in them the things that they need to know to be able to handle the world on their own when they become of age.
You know, when we get older, I have to give the woman credit because they have their mothers in their life. The mother gives them all the tools they need to be the mother. As the son get older, what tool he have in his toolbox from his father he could use to teach his son. And that's the biggest problem we have today. As growing up in my home, you know, I was able to, I was afforded the value to have my uncles. Um, my dad, every once in a while, pop up. Then you had, you know, good elders and deacons and bishops around us that pour into our life. It helped us mold us into who we are today. And we have tools in our toolbox we can use to teach the next generation.
Mhm.
That's why I don't mind talking to young men with the tools I have because it gives them the option to make a better decision to what they have and what they don't have. You know, we have to become stronger.
Mhm.
We have to involve ourselves in our family. I mean, I enjoy being with my wife. I enjoy my son. I enjoy my daughters. I even enjoy my home because I come home.
Yeah.
But
But I make
men,
it easy for you to come home.
but not just that.
Mhm.
You enjoy me because I love you.
You do love me.
So why are we sitting here
Yeah.
angry at our past and not looking towards our future?
Mm. Mm. You know, I had to learn that from you, you know, about staying out of the past and look towards the future and only worry about the people that are in our home that are making us into kind of like who we are
Yeah.
today, you know. And if we're not careful, just because we're born into a particular family doesn't always make it family. Sometimes we do have to separate from certain things if you want better and if you want to achieve better things. Family is good. You know, if you have a good family that understands what family is for, and we're hoping for us as we move forward in life and with our children that we are good grandparents
Yeah.
and that we're good great grandparents and we're teaching them how to be good aunts and uncles, and then when they get, you know, older they can be good grandparents and things like to keep that type of thing flowing and going, and to also help to teach and to bridge the gap in places where things are just kind of missing.
Yeah.
Fathers are needed. Women, we can't do this alone. I can't do this by myself. I am thankful that I don't have to. Before I even had any children with him, I said, "Are you sure? Because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be a good mom. I don't know what I'm going to do." And he said, "We'll do this together." When I found out I was pregnant, he was so nervous and he was in there cooking and he was like, Well, what did they say?" I was like, "I'm pregnant." He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a dad."
No, tell the truth. When she first got pregnant, I didn't know she was pregnant. She had no,
Yes, she did.
no. Listen,
I'm listening.
her and her friend went to the doctor to find out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking like when I came home, she goes to the doctor about, "I got something to tell you." I'm looking like, "What is it? What is it?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm pregnant. I'm like, "Oh Lord,
Mm-hmm.
oh Lord." And I think what scared me the most about the pregnancy wasn't the fact that she was pregnant. The fact is, how am I gonna take care of this child if I could better take care of myself?
Yeah.
So I had to make some quick, speedy decision about my financial situation, my career, and my relationship with my wife. This is something a man have to do if they want success within themselves. They have to stand up.
Because at that time, what was truly happening? I think that was the time I was working and taking care of you.
Yes, you are.
And see, people don't know that. They
Oh,
thought
I'm not embarrassed to say
they
that.
thought no, it's not even about being embarrassed. They thought that when we got married, they thought that I was already pregnant.
Oh,
And
they thought some crazy
they
outlandish
thought that
things.
I was just taking his money, but little did they
You know,
know.
the thing is me and my wife made an agreement. You
Mhm.
take care of me the first 2 years, a year, however it goes. I got you the rest of the way. After the first 2 years passed by, guess what? I got it for the rest of your life.
And I haven't worked, although I have my own private practice. I'm telling you, I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about any of those things. I go to sleep knowing that everything is taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. And it is comforting to know that um, I have somebody to lean on. But it's still comforting to know that even if something was to happen, that I have sense enough to be able to take care of myself. I know what to do,
You
you
know
know?
what I did for my wife is, she know now. I make sure she finished school. I make sure she did everything she did need to do. Because my biggest fear in life is, what if something happens to me tomorrow? And I want her to be in a position where she able to take care of herself and my children. The biggest scare I ever had when I did collapse, and I was almost gone.
Yep.
And it was the most scariest moment in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, who gonna take? The only thing I'm worrying about, I didn't care. I was about to aspire. All I care about, who gonna take care of my wife and kids.
And you should have seen me like a crazy woman in the hospital yelling at the officers, like, he's one of you guys, get him back there. I was screaming and going crazy. And I thought that I lost him. And in that moment, I was like, what would I do? And I don't know if it was then that we made the decision for me to go to school, but I
No,
ended up,
you was already in school.
yeah, oh, yeah, I was.
You was already in school, but you didn't have a clear direction where you was going in school.
But I figured it out quickly.
So when we figured that out, we worked very hard towards that. And I made sure
Mhm.
I encourage her like anybody should encourage. I tell you, if your wife want to go to school to better herself, allow her to do it. If your husband want to go to school to better himself, allow him to do it, and stick to your goals and plan. Because
Yeah,
I tell you, when it works out worldly. I cannot complain at all
beautiful,
because,
you meant.
that too. I tell you one thing, about her having her degree, many doors have started open for us
Yeah,
because we took the benefit that we have with each other
yeah,
and use it for the better. So if we don't use what we have in our home, I think we are crazy.
yeah. Well, it's almost time. Well, it is
Yeah,
time to go.
we will pass our time. I'm
Four
sorry.
minutes we went over.
Yeah,
But today was really good. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. I know people thought, like, I know how to push certain buttons, and I know how to get them talking. You guys don't know how to do that. I do. And so sometimes it can look like we're getting ready to have a heated argument. No, ain't nobody finna argue on live. Y'all crazy.
Even in person, we look at each other like, really?
But I know how to get them going and to get them to talk about those things that are passionate. Because sometimes being on this type of platform, it can be a little intimidating and it can be a little scary, putting ourselves out there. But like I said in the beginning, nobody has a heaven or hell to put us in, and nobody can stop us but Facebook if they get tired of us
They'll
being
shut
on
us
this
down.
show. And then you guys can always go over
To
to
YouTube.
YouTube to find us on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. And if you have any questions or concerns, or if you guys are struggling, I'm a marriage therapist. I also do substance abuse, dual diagnosis, that's that type of therapy. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I do not prescribe, but I do work with those people to help with the therapy as well. But my number is 754-303-9976. And somebody said it's a blessing to
Oh,
have the two of you on this program. Thank you so very much. That's Uncle Raymond.
yeah,
He's always supporting us, and we appreciate you and your wife for
yeah.
always supporting us. And Tiffany, I see you on here. Look at Marie coming through today.
You know what we said was in the beginning of our doing this platform was transparency,
Transparency, yeah,
transparency.
yeah,
We will always have transparency on this platform. If you don't want to be real, please leave us alone. Cause we gonna be real about it. Because how can we heal unless we real?
yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's we I have to be careful with what I say because sometimes I can be too real. So we're still tempering ourselves and learning how to do, the show and different things like that. Like we're still learning some things and being very careful with some things that we articulate because everybody still doesn't need to know everything.
Yeah.
But with our experiences and how we were able to come out of a lot of those things, we can only share those experiences. And when it comes to some therapeutic things, I'll always say, well, therapeutically, this is how, we would handle it. And if you need help, where you would go to get that help. But today I think was really, really good. You guys can also email us some comments and questions or that you would like to see answered. You can email us at let's talk marriage, the number one at gmail.com. You can always reach us there as well.
Or DM us.
Well, if you direct message us, you better hope I'm not sick because I go to bed at 8 o'clock. This is past my bedtime.
Well, we enjoy you guys. We appreciate you very much. We love you. We love your support that you have given us. We hoping to have plenty more exciting conversation like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we will definitely enjoy
See
hearing
you
from you
next time.
guys.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye. Thank you.